Hello and welcome everybody. We have the Global Lab patch notes for July 31st, 2026. We got a few things coming from the ball still. First off, we have the Guild Fame or Guild Reputation. It is not just something to be collected, and you can also get some special effects and bonuses, so we're going to get straight into it. The Guild Reputation system has been added, which can be earned through various guild activities and provides benefits applicable to the entire guild based on accumulated points. To gain guild fame or guild reputation, this can be done through multiple means for guild members and guild activities, and guild reputation can be accumulated up to 1 million. So, for example, every time a guild member logs in for that day, you get 50 reputation contributed per person. In the case of completing guild missions, it seems to be a one time. So, for each completed guild mission, you get 1,000 points. For each one type of boss, which I believe would be translated as pretty much one boss each. If we include Khan in that, that should be 50,000 a week. Then we have the Guild League victories, giving 500, Blue Battlefield victories, 5,000. Node War Stage 1 and Stage 2 being separated, Stage 1 at 5,000, Stage 2 at 25,000, and at the Unlimited 35,000. In the case of the Conquest or Siege, Stage 1 is going to give out 50,000, Stage 2 75,000, and the Uncapped at 100,000. And then finally we have Victory in the War of the Roses giving 150,000. You cannot earn guild fame for defeating one type of guild boss from the August 3rd Monday to regular maintenance, or for completing one mission from the August 5th. So this will be a little bit of a limiting factor, especially if you do your guild bosses from Monday to Thursday. You might want to move it for that week if you want to try to make those points immediately. Otherwise, just keep on doing what you were doing. Accumulated guild point reputation benefits are also here. So the reputation allows you to receive various benefits applicable to the entire guild based on accumulated points. Each passive skill does consume 1 guild point upon the first acquisition. The daily salary bonus will also be added. So if you have a daily salary of 5 million silver and you are at a fame of 900,000 or more, you will earn a total of 50 million silver per day. That will be a daily salary of 5 mil contributed by the guild, and an additional 45 million on top of that. However, this will not be consumed from your guild funds, and is just free silver from PA. Talking about the highest buff, obviously we have starting at 900,000. We're looking at a passive skill, Extermination Expert, which will give a +8 monster AP. Then we also have the daily pay at 900% here. We also have an increase in the daily guild mission recharge count, so we have a total number of charges of 20. Further, we also have 800,000 looking at passive skill Light Footsteps, which will increase your weight by 100 LT, and they will also add something called honorable guild missions for monster hunting, life, and trade, which we're going to be getting into a little bit later. Your daily charge is going to be a 19 in total, and you're going to have a daily pay of 800. At 700,000, we have a daily recharge of 18 with 700% payout bonus. Then the passive skill Refined Hands, which is going to give you 50 life skill mastery passively. At 600,000, we're at 17 missions, 600% pay, and the skill Guidance of Fortune, which will increase your item drop rate by another 20% passively. 500,000, we're looking at 16 missions a day with 500% daily extra pay and a Fortuna's Blessing enhancement. Then at 400,000, we have 15 missions per day with the Guru's Touch being improved. 300,000, we have 14 missions, and the other PvE skill being updated. 200,000, we got another passive skill. This is going to be 50% life XP gain, 30 missions recharge per day, and 200%. And we have 100,000 points, giving you 12 refreshes a day, 100% payout, so it'll be 10 mil. Oh no, 5.5 mil. And then we have the passive skill, Mercenary's Pledge, which will increase your combat experience gain by 100%. Finally, at the 50,000, we only get 11 missions per day, 50% in increased pay, and no extra skill. And at 0, there is absolutely no change. A menu has also been added to the Guild UI to check the benefits, disadvantages, and increases and decreases based on your guild fame. These are shown here. You can also check the benefits and disadvantages, buffs and debuffs associated with the guild reputation, as well as the currently applied effects. A reputation tab has been added for the usage history, so here you'll be able to track the incoming and outgoing fame. Speaking of the buffs, we do still have the effect of the guild skills, Fortuna's Blessings, Guru's Touch, and the Realm of Nothingness. We have the enhanced versions. So the original is sitting at 20% drop rate, knowledge gain of 15, and higher knowledge of +2. The new updated version is going to give plus 30% drop rate, 15% knowledge drop probability still, and 2% on the higher. Guru's Touch is going to change from 50% life XP and 50 mastery to 75% life XP and 75 mastery. And then the final one, we have the combat XP gain 200%, skill XP gain 50, and alignment or karma recovery plus 15% being changed to plus 300% and 75. This is not including the new passive skill of 100% up here, so you can get a good chunk more. The passive skills are shown here in the guild skills, we can kind of notice them, and the enhanced versions do exchange the new skill, or the old skill. Further, silver rewards for guild missions have been adjusted and honorable missions have been added. This will be at the 800,000 mark. So for the honorable guild missions, yield in silver per attempt has been increased, while other rewards remain the same. So here, for example, we can see some examples. If we look at the 7,500, before change it was 160 mil per mission, now it will be 290, and if you do the honorable version, you're actually going to get 420 million. This is a big increase, to be honest, if you do keep this up. Otherwise, you're still going to gain more money than before, in general, by the payout being increased, but these honorable missions do give a significant higher payout. Looking at, for example, the defeating Magoria sea monsters, 144 mil changes to 200 mil, and you're going to get an extra 50 mil from the honorable version. This also applies for all the life skilling and trade ones. As you can see, the higher payout in the honorable is at the back. The only exception for this is defeating the Black Shrine. These are actually going to get, well, updated, but there was also a little bit of a mention of removal, which is also a bit interesting, but actually, the removal is of the normal difficulty, and also the log and rough stones have been removed due to the low preference. The number of objectives for the unknown catalyst has also been adjusted. So before it was 80, 160, 240, and 360. This has now been changed to 150, 300, 450, and 600 for the extra large. And further, for the fishing missions, they have increased the time limit for completion by about an hour, which should be able to help you complete those. Talking about guild fame still, we do have the consumption of guild fame. Guild fame is consumed when using the following functions, and it can be reduced by as much as minus 2 million. If a guild reputation is less than 0, the guild name will change to red. If your guild reputation is less than 0, you cannot participate in Node Wars or War of the Roses, and members of that guild can also not participate as war heroes of another guild's Node War. That is actually a big negative. I'm actually a bit surprised that they did that, but hey. However, guild reputation will not drop below 0 due to any other reduction other than war declarations. The new guild raid bosses, Gumiho and Duokshini, will be scheduled for a future update, but they will also be included in this. So, for example, on consumption, we have a declaration of war, which will cost you 400,000 reputation, and you need to have at least minus 1.6 mil or more. Resetting the foundation server, or your guild server is going to cost you 100,000, and you need 100,000 to pay for that. Recharging this summon count for one existing guild raid boss. This seems a little bit like you can summon each one once per week extra, but it could also just be a single one per week. That is a bit unclear in the phrasing, but it would cost you 25,000, and you need at least 25,000 to do so. You can also get an extra CTG for 25,000, and you can also pop a free golden bell for 20,000. In addition, you will also lose a little bit of guild fame every Monday at midnight, depending on the size of the guild. If you're small, you're going to lose 2,500. Medium, you're going to lose 5,000. 7,500 for the large guild, and the extra large guilds are going to lose 10,000 per day. Then we have the guild ranking UI change. So the guild ranking has been changed as follows. Guild reputation and weekly guild reputation acquisition items have been added. The decisive battle score, guild introduction, and guest bud sections have been deleted, so these are all gone. Overall, the guild UI looks a bit cleaner. Gonna have to see how that goes. Then we have, obviously, the big thing people have been waiting for or happy to see come back, the war declarations. In the past, guild wars would often cause inconvenience due to the declaration, and even if the situation was unwanted. Conversely, recently, there have been consistent opinions from us adventurers that it should be back, and they're implementing it like this. So you will be able to declare a guild war by spending the guild reputation. You will consume 400,000 guild fame upon declaration, and you will need to confirm and pretty much confirm before you declare. You can declare a guild war when there are 10 or more guild members online. However, responding to a declared guild war is possible without any conditions. Also, there are no restrictions on the size or number of members of the guild subject to the declaration. You can also declare a guild war up to 6 guilds at a time, and you can declare war on guilds with less than 0 guild reputation without consuming fame. So if you want to have a red guild, you can get as many war decks as possible without having anybody pay for those, and you can have all the wars you want. You also cannot declare a guild war when your reputation is below 1.6 mil, as it would put you below the minus 2 mil. The declaration of war will automatically last 6 hours. However, if the opponent responds to the war and there is no mention of the war cancelling, the war will continue for a total of 7 days without extra costs. You also cannot declare a war on a guild that has already declared a war for 48 hours, so you cannot declare on the same guild twice within a 48-hour period. And you can also not declare a guild war for 7 days after creating a guild. There's also a 5-minute waiting period from the declaration of the war until it actually begins, so there is that little bit of a buffer time right after the declaration. When war is declared, the reputation value changes due to the war is displayed in the guild UI, and you can check records of war declarations in the guild history menu. The following changes have also been made regarding the existing guild wars. The changes have been made so that the guild funds are not consumed when declaring a guild war. The guild war withdrawal function has been removed. So actually here we have the confirmation you won't be able to pull out of the war if you reciprocate. And the guild member protection feature has also been removed. Heroes of the battlefield have been changed so that they cannot participate in the war. That is actually a big change. I know a few people always joined a nice guild war as a mercenary to have a bit of a GVG. That is a bit of a change and letdown. Then we have some small changes on Agent, as expected. We have on the main weapon Succession, obviously, Death Bombing. The character has been improved to rotate according to the camera direction during the first to fourth hit of the skill. However, immediately before the skill strike, the attack is triggered in the direction the camera is facing. In the case of shooting proficiency, improvements have been made to allow for a faster transition from the reload animation to the basic movement after the final hit. Then we have flow redeployment. It is improved so that it does not pass through monsters when activated in the forward direction. Accordingly, the description has also been updated. Then we have the Mozambique's marksmanship. It has been changed so that it can be activated during the cooldown, and during the cooldown the skill's damage is reduced, critical hit chance effects are not applied. And finally, the acquisition levels of lower stages of the following skills acquired during the growth have been adjusted. So Mozambique's marksmanship acquisition to level 5 is changed to 1, aerial suppression fire from 8 to 6, mayhem from 12 to 7, and evasion detonation from 16 to 7. Then we have some general class modifications and changes. The skill descriptions for repeatable effects, poison, bleeding, pain, health recovery, mana recovery have been changed to indicate the number of times they are applied during their duration. They also fixed an issue where repeatedly applied effects were intermittently applied 1 to 2 times less than usual. Ranger Succession, they fixed an issue with the attack power increase by 1 upon acquiring the Lemuria Feather skill. To maintain this effect, the attack power increase of the Strength Spirit Blessing 3 skill has been changed from 2 to 3. In the case of Ninja, the attack speed increase of the Shadow Blade skill has been transferred to the Succession Dark Shadow. You can now gain the attack speed increase effect immediately upon succession. Lon, when using the Bon Bulgogi skill in place, the movement distance was longer compared to when the skill was not acquired, and this issue has been fixed. In the case of Nova, Black Spirit's Royal Swordsmanship, they fixed an issue where the dismount effect was not applied upon a successful hit with the chain skill, or flow skill. Agent, they improved to stop movement more quickly when stopping while moving left or right in non-combat. Then they improved an issue where enemies at close range could not be hit intermittently when using the close fire skill forward. Then they fixed an issue with the phrase stating that it is not affected by attack speed was not displayed in the description of the blink skill. Agent Flow, there was an issue with the effect appearing awkward when using the Hidden Truth skill, and then they fixed an issue where stamina was not recovered while using the block shot. Then we have a small thing. Guild League is coming. However, there is going to be a bit of a caveat in this. A new Guild League season is on the way, but before we will have a week-long Guild League focus week. This will begin alongside the Guild Fame update, so the next update, or next Thursday or Wednesday update, respectively. And the regular season will then run for 4 weeks starting August 26th and 27th globally after the Guild League focus weeks end. Team up with your guild members during the event to earn guild fame, test your strength, and prepare for the upcoming season. So the Guild League Intensive Week will take place after the official next server maintenance, and again, will run till August 27th or 26th. Excuse me. They're also introducing a measure to prohibit the sale of the Ancient Hammer and Ancient Blackstones in the shop. So they're removing the NPC price so you can no longer accidentally sell them. That can happen to a newbie or even a veteran. So now you no longer need to contact support to get them back after you got them. This should remove that chance. Then also a new crafting formula has been added to the Black Star Hammers. You will be able to get 200 Stones by processing them with heating to remove them. Then we have the new world boss, Dark Bonghwang. Rumors have been heard that a strange and frightening energy is occasionally felt from dwellings of Sangun, Uturi, Bulgasol, and Golden Picking, the world bosses of Land of the Morning Light. When world bosses Sangun, Uturi, Bulgasol, and Golden Picking appear, the new world boss Dark Bonghwang will appear instead according to a specified probability. The Black Bonghwang appears in the existing locations, and the main loot obtainable by defeating the Dark Bonghwang is as follows. If you are in the top 20, you will have your guaranteed compensation, which includes some primordial embers, the head of seals of the Land of Morning Light, and some gold book bar goodies, and your typical hunter seals. Beyond that, you have, based on probability, the primordial flame still, Black Phoenix feather, which is a new item, and tears of the Black Phoenix, and you have some boxes of faint predation, origin of faint Darkness Predation, so pretty much the blue hungers, Kaffir Stone bundles, and 40 and 60 stacks, and gold bar box as a bonus. This obviously repeats in the 21st to 50 damage contribution, and 51st to 90%, but at lower chances. And then you have the standard contribution, which is your guaranteed compensation. The Black Phoenix Feather, a trophy obtained from defeating the Dark Bonghwang, can be exchanged with Ho Sung-wong, the high-end merchant in Yoko Street in Land of the Morning Light. The exchange list pretty much goes for all the foods of Seoul. So we have the different meals for 3, or the higher tier meals for 3 feathers, and the lower tier meals for a single one. You can obtain also a large amount of Essence of Dawn from the tiers of the Dark Bonghwang through the following process formula. So if you process 10 times the amount of crafting materials, a Blackstone powder will also work. So if you have a tier of Black Phoenix and then add a single Essence of Dawn of the type you wish, you can then get 30 out of it, which pretty much turns your 1 into 30. That is a good deal. The number of times you can exchange the primordial crystals with the Land of the Morning Light Chieftain seal has also been changed from 4 to 8 times. Then we have a small change on Darkseeker's Retreat. They fixed an issue where the next stage of monsters would not be summoned if the first appearing individual was quickly defeated upon reappearance. So there was a small bug there. And on the Gavina Coastal Cliffs has been changed that the Sulphur Rock Golem and the Sulphur Stone Colossus awaken together upon the first attack after the Sulphur Volcano awakens. Then we have the other big update, Marni's Combat Analyzer. This has been added, allowing you to examine the flow and results of battles. You can now intuitively check damage dealt, damage taken, damage per second, and combat duration, in particular using the individual analysis function, which allows you then to examine your records for an even more detailed perspective. However, they do want to note that this feature is only available in specific content in order to provide content in a stable server environment, and they hope that the Marni's Combat Analyzer can serve as a tool that allows you to objectively verify your growth progress while researching various setting and skill combinations more conveniently than before. Marni's Combat Analyzer will be in the menu, character, and escape F2 for the Marni's Combat Analyzer. If you hide UI on hit is enabled in the game settings while using the Combat Analyzer UI is hidden upon being hit, but the recording does not end. However, the widget that appears when you press the small window open button is not hidden even if the hide UI is enabled. Here we have an example with 1, 2, and 3. We're going to have to scroll down. So we have the main, actually zoom out, and we'll go up. So we have the main screen area where you can check the damage dealt, damage taken, and damage per second and combat time. If the maximum recording time of 1 hour and 10 minutes is exceeded, you can use it again after resetting. You can also move the window out of the game by pressing the sticker UI button at the top. You can also turn widgets on and off through the small window. And if the hide UI is hit, it will also hide this. In the case of 2, we have the individual combat analysis, tab button, and filter button. You can access individual battle analysis to view detailed records. You can view damage dealt, damage taken, status effects by sorting them using the tab button. Additionally, you can filter by skill, monster, or character name. If an object with the same name exists in the record, a number is displayed after the name, and you can view only the information for a specific target by selecting a target in the View All Characters button and entering a number in the input field. You can also check records by the skill through All Skills button. And then finally, at the bottom, we have the individual battle analysis. In the record list, you can check the time, details, and damage, and you can check the recorded time. Detailed information, you can check whether damage was inflicted or received, and check the skill name. Damage, you can also check the damage amount, type of status effect, and whether a critical hit occurred. Finally, at the bottom, we have the start and stop and initialize recording. Pressing the start recording button to start the analysis and pressing the button again to pause it, and the start recording and reset button can be set as simple shortcuts. Pressing the reset button deletes the recorded information, so that is going to be noted. We also have a detailed guide, so obviously damage, it displays the total sum of all damage the character has dealt to the opponent. If there are multiple opponents, it is displayed as the total sum of damage dealt to all enemies. Damage received, the total sum of damage the character received from the opponent. If there are multiple opponents, it is displayed as a total sum of damage received from all enemies. DPS, damage per second, is displayed as a dealt damage per second by dividing the damage dealt by combat time. Battle time, this is the time the Marni combat analyzer recorded the fight. In the individual combat analysis, we have a bit more. So every hit that caused damage is displayed in detail. Target of the attack, if there are multiple targets, it will add a number a number to display for distinction. The name of the skill used by the attacker. All attacks that are not applied as skill damage are labeled as normal attack. If there are specific effects during the attack that is not applied as skill damage, it is displayed as charge, pull, push, pit, spin, or draw. Then we have the fixed damage effects obtained from using skills are displayed under the name. Then we have the repeated damage effects such as poison, burn, bleeding are displayed under the name of the skill that inflicted the effect. Fixed damage effects obtained from consumables are displayed as the effect of the consumable that granted it. Attacks by summoned creatures or entities summoned by a character are displayed as summon name, summon skill name. So we can finally see on how much damage Nova actually does. Special attack damage, back attack, down attack, air attack, counterattack, speed attack are also displayed, whether a critical hit has occurred, whether a miss has occurred, and the final damage amount. The final damage amount displayed includes the increases and decreases based on critical hits and misses. However, status ailment effects are recorded separately. Guide to the content available for the Combat Marni's Analyzer is you can have the general fighting, the free duel arena, Arsha server including unknown, red battlefield, the Immortal Abyss, so that should be, yeah, I believe that's the new Immortal, Elvia Territory, Marni's Secret Room, or Marni's Realm, and the Golden Pig Cave. Unavailable content is going to be Solaris AOS, Node War battles, Occupation battles, Ataraxian boss battles, Black Shrine solo, Black Shrine group, Altar of Blood, Among the Great Steps, I'm not too quite sure what that is, the Old Moon Grand Prix, War of the Roses, Guild League, the Throne of Adana, World Exchange tournaments, I believe that should be the World Boss tournaments, Arsha's Spear, and Magnus. With the addition of the Marni's Combat Analyzer, the damage displayed setting in the Black Desert Lab has been removed. With the addition of it, it has also been changes that the effects such as charge, pull, and push, and monster spin and eye draw are applied with minimal damage, and the Marni's Combat Analyzer does not operate while mounted on a vehicle, including the Tamer's Wolf, or High Lung. There's an extra small note, down smash and air smash cannot be verified in the Marni's Combat Analyzer in the Black Desert Research Lab and are scheduled to be updated on the initial server, or on the official server. And then finally, we have fixes and changes. On Musa, they fixed an issue with the chest area of the Citrus outpeared appeared cut out. Agent, there was an issue with the left-right of the Monarch revolver and Black Star revolver being misaligned. Then they fixed an issue when the appearance of the falling carriage placed in a specific location was loading late. Then there was an issue with the number of attempts allowed for the altar of blood content being indicated as 5 has been fixed. If a monster intermittently fails to appear normally in the Sephiroth Castle hunting grounds, it has been removed and improved to ensure they reappear. Then there was an issue with the category name Adventure Support Bag expansion in the recommended quest tab. The knowledge icon below used in the Ancient Succession quest has been modified. This is for an old name Gannicus, the boy left alone Edward, codename Grim Reaper, and the agents deal with Marni. Then they fixed some issue where the damage dealt by the Breath of Grass and Song of Wind from Solar Spear was being applied. Then their improvements have been made to display wagons and horses connected to them in the stable window of the world map. The timing for defeated Golden Pig King 8, 9, and 10 has been improved to start more accurately at the actual start of the battle. The order of the fences in the garden list has been modified to appear in the order they were installed. And the quest Deep Rooted Hand to gather across the sea has been changed so that it can be accepted if you possess the Deep Rooted Hand knowledge. The texture of the UI exchange warehouse and bags has also been improved. Then they fixed some issues where the explanation regarding summoning authority was unnatural in the description of the guild boss raid summon. Then there was a issue where you could very rarely cause problems on the game server during YAR progression. Then they fixed some issues where the Node War and Conquest War related system messages were not displayed in the system. They changed appearance in these specific situations. At 4, they fixed an issue where the pearl outfit worn by the character was not visible when taking a portrait. And then we have a few pad mode fixes. One, they fixed an issue where the PC version description would not disappear after being displayed when viewing the details on the charge option in the Allen Servant landscape. Then they fixed some issue with the treasure map surfacing from the deep sea could not be used with a gamepad. Then they fixed an issue with the King or Sovereign Weapon crafting UI, where snapping into empty slots was possible in a specific way when there were 4 more Black Star weapon materials. Then they fixed some issues where the snapping was awkward in the Node War battle status board UI. Then there was an issue where the key guide was missing from the pop-up window that appears when YAR matching is complete, and the key guide in the pop-up window that appears when Red Battlefield matching is complete has also been improved. TLDR wise, let's go up. I'm still a bit skeptical about the Marni Combat Analyzer. I do expect this to be a bit more decisive between the classes. At the same time, I hope with a collective effort, possibly through Godmoth.com, we're going to be seeing a lot of improvements in this regard of classes clearly showing their improvements and also maybe on some skill guides clearly showing combos. But I digress. Then moving on, we obviously have the bug fixes, always great. The new tier of the Black Phoenix, definitely a nice way to get the Essence of Dawn up. Same thing for the foods being more available. It is a nice way of implementing a new boss. Then we have the removal of the sale of the Ancient Hammer and Ancient Blackstones. It's great, it avoids mistakes, but we can still get the crons for them anyway if you don't need them. Guild League, I'm surprised they're doing a pre-run. At the same time, this does give everybody a bit of time to get ready for it, so that is not a bad thing. General fixes, can't really complain. Agent, I haven't had a chance to play him at all, not even the season or non-season, so I'm gonna have to see how that goes. Otherwise, Guild War Declarations being back is great. I do feel the implementation is really good. The fact that if you reciprocate the war, you will be in that war for 7 days, so it does make you consider reciprocating a war. Beyond that, you're also looking at some big negatives if you are a negative guild, especially the no joining on Node Wars, as I know that a lot of red guilds do enjoy Node War content. That is a bit of an odd thing. I'm wondering if they'll be changing that, but we're gonna have to see. Otherwise, do expect Guild Wars to be applied. So you do need to tell your members you might be war decked. Be safe out there. Guild protection is no longer available, and as such, it needs to be considered. Otherwise, the recovery of fame, the bonuses and consumption of fame, it does seem to be okay. A bit curious if the extra missions that we get from the higher fame do apply the extra points, the extra points of 1,000 per completed mission as well. That would mean you can definitely get a lot of fame, which can definitely keep your war decking active if you choose to do so. Otherwise, you obviously get a good amount of points for the big wins, and otherwise you even get some for Guild League. Overall, I think this is going to be a W patch, but we're going to have to see how it goes, and I wish you guys all the best of luck on all your taps still. I did have a small guide on the Slumbering Origin armor if you want to check that out and you're new to the game. Otherwise, if you're not new to the game, it's not going to be necessary for you.